They say this is a big rich town. I just come from the poet's part. Bright light, city life, I gotta make it.
Welcome to Post Power. My name is Swaggy Sie. This is my co-host.
Zel, what's good?
All right. And we have a special guest today, Joseph Sikora, none other than Tommy. I think, you're some of the favorites on this show out of the cast.
I think that people love and are drawn to the character of Tommy because he's the most loyal character. He's always kept it in the streets and he's kept himself loyal to the streets. So I think people are like, man, this guy goes from A to B and he does it quick and he does it right with style and finesse. That's my guy.
I think sometimes there might be a love-hate kind of relationship between Tommy and the fans because sometimes Tommy makes very impulsive decisions. And I don't know, do you want to speak on some of the decisions he's made?
God, well, he does a lot of pillow talk. He's so wrapped up with every woman that he gets together with. This now includes Lakeisha. Lakeisha, obviously, he's known for his whole life.
Yeah.
But I think that he talks too much in that. He's so ready to and willing to accept and always kind of looking for love. However, I think the hate is that what people do is I think they're projecting themselves into the character. And they hate that because they've seen that in themselves. They're like, no, Tommy, that doesn't work.
We did that already.
I fucked my life up because I did that too. So I think that that's another reason why people are drawn to the character because I think that it's very easy to put yourself in Tommy's shoes.
So I want to play a game. It's called Who Said What.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm going to test you out. I feel like, you got
Hey man, look man, I always shot for like a 74 in high school, so like C average, I'll be good.
Yeah, you'll be good, all right?
Hit me.
Let's do the first one, Zel.
I don't know what will give me more satisfaction, getting my money or killing you. These are the choices. A, Ghost. B, Tommy. C, Jason. D, Diego.
Oh, I remember this scene. That was Mike Dopin playing Jason Michich.
Got
Woo!
it. Got it.
All right, you're sharp. Let's do the second one. Well, they need to get sooner rather than later. A, Dre. B, yourself, Tommy. C, Kanan. D, Tarik.
Sooner rather than later, that's me.
All right, we got one more. You don't ever want to get caught slipping with the both of them in the same place. A, Tarik. B, Ghost. C, Tommy. D, Kanan.
Kanan.
Yo, this guy won 100%.
3 for 3.
Yo, man. How do you remember all these lines?
You know what? What is that? The guy with the men's balding thing. I'm not only this. I'm also a client. Like I'm also a fan of the show. I
So
like watching
how
it.
often do you watch the show? Every weekend?
I try to watch it every weekend, and if I'm, somewhere like in Capri, Italy or something, getting the vibes, sitting on a gondola, then I DVR it and I watch it as soon as I can.
So what do you think is going on between Keisha and Tommy right now? Is this chemistry real? It kind of seems forced at times, because I feel like we've seen better chemistry between you and Holly. But we all see where that ended up. But what do you think the real root of the relationship is for it?
Well, I think just like in real life, when you have a relationship with somebody who's all passion, fire against fire, it's gonna end bad. Those don't last. Those relationships, it's fire and fire. It's gonna consume itself. Whereas I think with Tommy and Keisha, I think passionately, they're passionate. Like when they get into it and they're doing their thing. Like that's it's pretty fire. But she's also far more balanced. You know what I mean? She's not just like, do it, Tommy. I want to be about this. She has this kind of intrinsic loyalty and self-awareness that the Holly character did not. So I think that she actually does balance Tommy in a way that's an anchor. And a relationship like that, as we've all seen, a relationship like that works a little bit better when there's a little bit more opposing energy. She's kind of Lakeisha's always been kind of cool, calm, and collected a little bit more. She gets hyped when she's, let me just slap the shit out of this. She has a line. So there's a combination. So they do have similarities, but I think they have enough opposing energy that it's just a much more balanced relationship. And plus, don't forget, they came from the same neighborhood. They know each other. These are people that they can. Hey, you remember that Jerk Chicken spot down on 86 and Guy Brewster? It's like, yeah. I do, and I remember this because we were kids together, and when you have a combined history, there's something for that. There's something said.
So, being that Kanan is done in front of the screen and now it's Curtis 50 Cent Jackson behind the scene, what was it like working with 50?
Tip's a great guy. He's a very accessible boss. He doesn't have to. He doesn't remind you that he's the boss ever because he doesn't have to. He comes in with the presence of somebody that's collaborative. He's an artist, so he's easy to talk to. He's also that guy. Like when I'm doing stuff with Tommy, it's like, hey Fifth, you know, what's it like when you get shot a bunch of times and you're sitting there like this?
Yeah.
I mean, he knows, and he knows this.
Experience.
And if I ever have a question about how things may go down, or I'm like, I would do it like this, I think this would be like this, let me check in with Fifth.
Yeah.
Let me see what he says about the experience in this. He always had time to explain stuff. So he's a great boss, he's a great collaborator, and he's a great scene partner.
Does Joseph have any similarities to Tommy?
I think that every actor has some sort of similarities to the character they're playing if they're believable. And I would argue that the fans have said Tommy's a very believable character.
Yeah.
Not only did I have a good street education growing up in Chicago and being a graffiti writer and doing some minor hustling, you know, my whole misspent youth of what I chose to do. But also, I think that you know, I had a lot of anger issues that I never dealt with until just before Power, when I did 5 years of anger management with a therapist, and going through therapy to find out where your anger comes from. I was able to understand my anger. My anger was all fear-based because I got my ass handed to me a lot, and so I was just, you know. And then I'm a man now, and being like, I'm scared of this in a different situation, and I'm gonna react with violence.
Right.
But there's no place for violence in this situation. So it was a poor example for me to be doing this. I'm just like, that doesn't translate. So I decided to make Tommy's anger different than my anger. Tommy's anger is not fear-based. Tommy's anger is, this is my option to control the situation. Both of those are similar, but mine was reactionary. Tommy's creates a reaction. So it was a means to an end. So, but understanding anger was a huge thing because this is an angry character, and his anger instills fear in a lot of people.
Well, since we're kind of on the topic of Joseph and Tommy having similarities, has there been, I feel like Tommy kicks ass.
He kicks ass. So a lot of parts of Tommy are shortcomings in me, like the swagger, like, you know, ladies man. I was always a little like, oh, you're such a sweetheart and this and that. I'm like, yeah, like you know, like I got you this little cute thing. They're like, yeah. Tommy's just like, bitch, get in the car. They're like, oh shit, I'm gonna get in the car.
Well, because Tommy's so,
I saw it work. I just didn't know how to do it in real life. But I'm like, I gotta act like that.
No more redheads.
Has there been any moment where maybe not Tommy, but Joseph has kicked somebody's ass?
Well, sure. I mean, I was an amateur boxer for 7 years, with not an outstanding record by any means, but I showed up. I showed up, man. And,
what's the most memorable ass kicking you've dished?
Dished? Oh God, I don't even. There was.
Come on, you gotta go.
I'll tell you what. There's actually quite a few that are really good and funny. But the first one that came to mind is I had long hair at the time down to here, and there were these not Nazi skinheads, but you know the skinhead guys, like the anti-Nazi skinhead, like guys that listen to ska music and all that stuff. There was a bunch of like them and the punk rockers, and I was with a couple of my friends, and I was like, yo man, let's go to this party. There's all these people going to the party, and this girl comes out and she's just like, you guys can't come. Like some of these guys started surrounding me and like 3 or 4 of my friends. And she's just like, I said, come on, sweetheart, you know, come on, you know you want me at this party.
Come on.
She says, she goes, you're so fucking ugly. And I go, now we both know that's not true. And then one of the bigger, you know, chubby skinhead guys, way bigger than me, and he's talking to me and he's calling me Fabio and all this stuff. And then I hit off his head. And I said, you know, what the fuck are you gonna do now? Yeah, you're so tough. And he grabs me to headbutt me, and I just turned and put my elbow into his face, and it was like, boom, just his lips split like a peach. And it was just all this blood. And then my friends are going like this, everybody's kind of going down, I'm looking for people grabbing shit, I'm like, I don't want to get stabbed here. And then they let us just fight.
Was this in Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, you giving up
It's
in
Halstead and Fullerton, which is now it was at Taco Burrito King next door, which was a house a little bit back, so there was a longer front yard and a fence over there. And they people, stuff went crazy, but then they just let me and this big boy fight. Put up your dudes. And this idiot let me box him.
Wow.
I was like, this guy's not even grabbing me. I was like, boom, boom, boom. like mincing me. Like he's like, he's down on the ground. I'm like, look, my hands are tired. Like, is this guy done? Or?
Is he done?
So it was so. And then a friend of mine, my buddy Luke, saw me afterwards, and me and the guys were like, let's get out of here before the police come. My friend looks at me, he's like, damn, Joe, there's so much blood. I'm like, sorry, it's not my blood.
It's all good, we're good. All that means is if you see Joseph in the street, don't try him, right?
Please don't. I'm in my 40s now. I've got a wife. Please let's take a picture and we'll all go our separate ways.
So do you think now that Tommy's kind of seen the extent of what Ghost will do over his head without telling him, is there anything in the back of Tommy's mind that will make him think that Ghost will ever set Tommy up?
For sure, but I also think that there's so much love between these two brothers. There's such an inexplicable bond between these two men. I don't think that we have seen male love like this, on television.
Bromance.
It's a bromance. It really is. And Omari says that continuously, and he's right. There is a love, that these are two brothers in arms. These are two guys who have been to war together. I think you do see that kind of love in soldiers who have, but these are guys who have been soldiers together since they were, they've known each other since they were 5, 6 years old, and they were soldiers together since they were about 11.
Right.
Hustling, selling stockings on the corner and cleaning windows. They were hustling. Like, if you don't think that people who are trying to sell you socks are hustling, they're hustling.
Yeah, that's real.
Because
that's a real
that
hustle.
first step. And that's a hustle, and that hustle can turn into all these different hustles. And you learn the game how you're gonna learn the game. And Ghost and Tommy were busting their asses on corners, and they were in it together, and they dodged bullets together, and they shot together, and they're soldiers together. So that's a very difficult bond to give up with somebody.
So let's wrap up into the final segment before you get out of here.
All right.
We like to call this one Tarik of the Week.
Tarik of the Week. This goes to the person that makes the dumbest decisions.
Or it gets caught slipping the most.
Let's see. The dumbest decisions would be the American advocate from the Vatican talking shit about Pope Francis, saying Pope Francis knew what was going on with the boys. Liar, you're lying. Why are you lying?
Well,
You're the Tarik of the Week.
We have the Tarik of the Week, and we're giving it to Kanan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But since Kanan isn't here, we want you to accept it on his behalf.
Tarik of the Week?
That's
Yeah.
your boy.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I love Tarik.
There you go. That's the Tarik. Oh, let's turn it.
They say this is a big rich town. Yeah.
I'm just coming for it, boy. Hey.
There it is.
All right. Well, Joseph Sikora, thank you for stopping by Post
Thank
Power.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Let everybody know where to find you on social media. I know you're active, man.
Yeah, I'm active. There's a lot of fakes out there. So look, would you look for the blue check? Stop asking me if I have multiple accounts. I have one phone. No. So it's my name, Joseph Sikora 4, JOSEPH SIKORA, the number 4, and there's a blue check there. Follow me.